Ladies and gentlemen, the Manchester United has been discussed for so long now in terms of transfers, in terms of player development, and in terms of how poorly we've been. But throughout this entire progress, we've all really aimed our sights at the board. However, in saying that, there are some individuals at Manchester United just can't seem to get out of the news. And today's video, I want to discuss Paul Pogba. How has he been intrigued in the media today, and what exactly is his future? So without further ado, let's do it. What's up everybody, it's the Aidan Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Manchester United related video, and more specifically we're going to be discussing about Paul Pogba, what he's been saying to the media, and overall just how much we actually do need him at the club. We've got a lot to talk about in terms of Paul Pogba because he's been in the media a lot this week. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. And let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about Paul Pogba? How well do you think he's been with Manchester United? And do you want to see him leave this summer? We've got a lot to discuss because, as I mentioned before, Paul Pogba in the media just can't seem to get out. It seems like he falls into this trap every single year. And every single year is a different story, a different tale that will probably end up the same. But to kick things off, we have to discuss about what he said about Real Madrid. Now, Real Madrid is a team that is a dream to go for many players, and Paul Pogba stated that very heavily, and he even said in a quote, "One day, why not me? Why can't I go there? Maybe one day Paul Pogba will go to Real Madrid." But the reality is, that is a very damning quote that Paul Pogba said, and it's not easy to get that out of your head, especially when you think about all of the things that Manchester United are going through at the moment. Paul Pogba is probably the last thing that I want to think about in terms of leaving Manchester United. Right now, this is not the time to be talking about players leaving and the players coming in, because we are in a very terrible state of performances. Performances for Manchester United have been very few and far between, and it's not getting any better at the moment. So that's what our focus should be on. That's what our attention should be on. Not Paul Pogba going to Real Madrid, not Paul Pogba going to Juventus. There was a news story out there that's saying Fabrizio Romano was discussing Paul Pogba in a Juventus shirt this summer if it wasn't for the virus that spread. And look, all of those things might be true. Maybe one day Paul Pogba will be a Juventus or Real Madrid player, and it might be sooner than later. But at the end of the day, this is the last thing that I want to be talking about. But of course, people will have their mixed opinions. People are Pogba in, people are Pogba out. People want answers from Manchester United, want answers from Paul Pogba, want answers from everybody across the board to why we are so bad at the start of this season. And hopefully they can turn things around. And that's all I can say. Now, in relation to this, it's a two-headed sword, isn't it? Because, of course, you're going to see that one quote. You're going to see that one quote and you're going to say, Paul Pogba's a menace at Manchester United. He shouldn't be here. He should go. He's not worth the money. He's too inconsistent. But if you literally listen to the quote, literally read the quotes right after it, he says, "I am a Manchester United player. I love Manchester United. This is my club, and I want to take it to levels where it hasn't been in a long time." That's what Paul Pogba said in quotes after he talked about Real Madrid. So in the end, people are making a big fuss over some silly comments, which yes, he shouldn't have made. And yes, he gets caught with every single year. But at the moment, he's focused on Manchester United and he loves this club and he wants us to succeed. That's all I'm focused on at the moment. I'm not bothered about next season's transfer window. I could barely recover from this transfer window to make me go and believe that the next transfer window we're going to sell Paul Pogba and buy all these players. I can't be asked for these comments. I genuinely can't. I don't give two craps about what Manchester United do next summer at this current time. I want Manchester United and I want Paul Pogba to perform on the pitch. And if that is not going to happen, then Manchester United is down in the dumps, man. If you want a good and a successful Manchester United, you need a good Paul Pogba. If you want a Manchester United that's going to flop, that's going to end up failing, that's going to finish 6th or 7th, Europa League, maybe even beyond the Europa League, and not make Europe at all, then we're going to see a bad Paul Pogba. And I don't want to see a bad Paul Pogba. Until he's gone out of the club officially, he is our player. He's my player. And I'm going to back him the way that I think every player should be backed. When he's crap, I'll give him the criticism. When he's not crap, I'll give him the praise. But at the moment, That's like saying that Harry Maguire is leaving. At the end of the day, until he does leave, and I know a lot of people would like that, by the way. If Harry Maguire ever does leave, then that's when we could say it was good or bad. But at the moment, Manchester United's captain is Harry Maguire. I'm not going to say I want him to go or he needs to leave or to get out of my club, especially when in relation to Paul Pogba. It's not like he's done anything drastically wrong. He hasn't been good, but he's not been bad either. And it's just unwarranted in my opinion. This entire Pogba saga is just unwarranted. I don't like hearing about it. I've never liked hearing about it. I like Paul Pogba. I know sometimes he's terrible. Sometimes he is bad. But he's not been as bad as people like to perceive him. If anything, he's just inconsistent. And we know what we could get out of Paul Pogba if we really build around him. And unfortunately, if Paul Pogba leaves, the first thing that we should be doing is turning our heads to the boards and the owners and discussing why did Paul Pogba not succeed here. Because you can't solely put it on Jose Mourinho didn't like him, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer played him too much, or all these situations that did happen. You need to further discuss more into it. Paul Pogba didn't succeed because the players around him were not up to par. Where Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, I'm not going to go into all the players. I'm just not. But reality is, we could have had a much better team if I saw a thing earlier, and I'm sorry for rambling a bit, but all of the believed if Manchester United had believed in all the rumours and every single player was signed, there would be Thiago would be here, Jadon Sancho would be here, Upamecano and Alaba would be here. All these players that Manchester United were linked to that could have made us better, and barely any of them signed here. In fact, we only got really three capable signings for Manchester United in Cavani, in Alex Telles, and in Donny van de Beek. Those are the signings that you could at least have a good feeling about, that they're going to do well. Maybe they're not great signings, but they'll do well, or you at least think they should do well. And those are the players that really did improve us, but none of them were anything like we expected. You wanted Jadon Sancho, he was probably going to be the best signing we could have gotten, and he didn't come. You wanted Upamecano, well, he's not here. You wanted a Thiago, he's left to Liverpool. If you wanted Alaba, he stayed at Bayern. Reality is, Manchester United have woefully underperformed both on the pitch and in the transfer market. And that reflects in Paul Pogba as well. Paul Pogba is not the only innocent party here. I can admit that, and I can fully say that Paul Pogba is definitely part of the reason that we've been failing this season. But the fact of the matter is that this is something that I do not want to be discussing at the moment. We've got a long Premier League season ahead of us. We've got so many things to look forward to and so many things to feel worried about. Look at our next fixtures: Newcastle, PSG, Leipzig, Chelsea, Arsenal. We've got all these teams coming up very soon. And after a damning performance against Tottenham, I don't want to be players in, players out. I want these players to perform. That's all I can ask for. And it's sad that I'm asking these players to perform for us, because this is Manchester United, man. This is Manchester United. We shouldn't be asking for these players to perform. It's expected from them to perform. It's not something I should be begging and pleading about. But of course, here we are. And here we are at the start of the season. I'm begging and pleading Manchester United players to do well. I'll discuss Paul Pogba later on when January comes around, with the transfer market with January and next summer. But until then, this is probably the last video I'm going to talk about Paul Pogba in or Paul Pogba out. Of course, if you want to know my opinion on Paul Pogba, I've mentioned it throughout the whole video. I really like Paul Pogba, but I do think maybe it is time to go. And maybe next transfer window in the summer, we consider that. Maybe it's just a mutual agreement. It just has not worked. But reality is, we still have a whole year to decide about Paul Pogba. We still have the rest of the year. He's going to play a lot of games. So we'll make our decisions when the time comes. There's no point talking about this now, in my opinion, but I made this video because it's very popular, and Manchester United are talking about two things at the moment: Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Poch, that debate, and Paul Pogba. And Paul Pogba going to Madrid, going to Juventus. And at the moment, as much as I love talking about stories, this is a non-story for me. I saw this quote last year And everybody thought he was going this year, and he stayed. So we're going to have to wait and see. This is something that I don't believe, or I won't really believe until I see it. So let's just see what happens with Manchester United and Paul Pogba. And let's see if one or the other can end up being successful. Because that's what we need. We need Manchester United to be successful. We need Paul Pogba to be successful. I'm focusing on the pitch. I'm focusing on Newcastle. I'm focusing on the Champions League. Because that's what we have next. And we need every single player to rise up to that occasion. And Paul Pogba is not excluded from that. He should step up, he should rise up, and whatever happens in the summer. But for now, just perform like you've never performed before, because that's what we're going to need if we're going to be successful this season. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. The camera is a little bit different from other videos. I want you to let me know what you guys think about that. Hopefully it goes well. If not, I will change it back to the original. Again, I'll have a look at it as well, and we'll see. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in another Manchester United video. Take care and peace.